Okay, my question is for Jane. I homeschool, so this particular thing isn't right up front for me yet, but friends of mine that are in the public school system, up in Meredith, when they started getting the Chromebook, for all the students, 4th through 8th grade, just last week, it's mandatory for every student in there. Is that a soft opening for the data exhaust?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Well, they're all having tablets, every kid.
Okay, that's right.
And they're required to do certain assignments that seemingly have nothing academic, of any academic value.
So does it just stay on the tablet, or does the information of what they're doing go somewhere else?
I'm not sure. But
If it goes somewhere else, then it's a
It's a
problem.
problem. They need to find out. Also, the parents need to put their foot down and say, my child is not doing anything that I can't see. Anything that they can only access at school, they can only do at school, should not be allowed. The parents should be able to see anything.
And they have to do these.
Joy Pullman has written an article on the Common Core and homeschoolers. JoyPullman.
One thing I would like to mention, the panelists have agreed to go a little past 9 o'clock so we can take a few more questions. What I would like to say, I didn't say it beforehand because there are so many of you, but Americans for Prosperity and New Hampshire Families for Education are two organizations that are here supporting us tonight. And Americans for Prosperity actually brought some refreshments, so if some of you are getting thirsty without kind of disrupting this process, feel free to grab something over there. Next question. Yep, in the front.
For our friends that aren't here tonight, is this being videoed? Is there a way we can show it to them?
Yes, there is. Granite Rock in the back is filming. I'm filming as well, and I'm going to and we will have it uploaded to our website, so that'll be sent around, and we can e-blast it out too, so, yeah.
So I just want to just share something when I was experiencing back when votes were being taken for Common Core. Louder? Sorry. I emailed my local reps and said, don't vote Common Core. And I got no response from one, and I got a response back from the other that says, I'm just going to vote the way the committee votes because I don't know anything about this. So it's a very complex issue, and I want to thank you for the tremendous amount of information, the structure of the way it's delivered, and thank you, Cornerstone, also.
Thank you. In the back.
I just have a simple question. What's in it for the superintendents? Why are all these folks going along? I understand the benefit that the folks at the top have, but why are superintendents, becoming mouthpieces for this?
Well, the question was, what do the superintendents get out of this? Why are they going along? Now, you mean local superintendents, not just the state superintendents?
For many of them, it's a question of avoiding conflict if they can and trouble. There are networks in every state of local or district superintendents, and as we know from statistics, many of them don't stay more than 2 to 3 years in any one place. They get bounced up, they make more money elsewhere, but conflicts are very difficult for many of them. It's for any administrator, it's better not to have any conflict at all. If they just follow what directions they're given. The problem is they're now being given too many directions, and it's very confusing. And in Massachusetts, many of them have begun to complain, not about the quality of Common Core, but the fact that they're getting too many directions from the State Department of Ed. In New York State, I heard there was a petition by about 1,000 principals. I haven't been able to verify exactly what it was they complained about, but the testing issues bothered them. In other words, they've got to hew to a sort of party line that they're not going to violate what the state board has voted on, but there are other issues. They can say we're in chaos, we're not educating children, we're spending too much time on the testing issue, and halt, don't implement anymore until we can survive the next year. They're not going to speak up unless you can find 1 or 2 brave ones to get a few others to say the whole thing needs to be re-examined.
So some superintendents are quite annoyed and dismayed by this. In Long Island, there was a superintendent who held a mass meeting of thousands of parents and teachers and protesting along the teacher professionalism lines.
I'll give you an example of one of the problems. In Georgia, we had hearings on a bill last February, and we found one superintendent, and one local superintendent who was willing to come testify for us. And
he was from down in South Georgia, and he was close to retirement age. And he was very opposed to Common Core and had all kinds of problems with it. And I asked him if he knew other superintendents who agreed with him on this. He said, oh yeah, I know lots of them. I said, do you know anybody who will speak up like you are? He said, no, not a chance. Because the others, if they're not close to retirement age, if they want any chance of getting a better job in a bigger district, they're going to go along with what the education establishment is telling them.
Until the discontent from parents and teachers becomes too great, then they can't avoid it. It's a management problem.
Okay, Representative?
I'm David Murataki. I'm representing Nashville's 5th Ward. I also happen to be one of 3 National Board of Education members here tonight. These are myself and Elizabeth Van Twyver and Sandra Ziem. The 3 of us are from the Curriculum and Evaluation Committee of the National Board of Education. So the thing I'd like to ask is that, there's been some good news about some state legislatures which have repealed Common Core, and most recently these stories about the 2 state governors from Maine and Florida who through executive order basically went ahead and put a halt to it. My question to you is this: did the states that either had legislative repeal of Common Core or executive orders halting its deployment, did those states, unlike New Hampshire, actually go ahead and recognize that it was a state mandate, and were they responsible financially for funding it? Because you see, here in New Hampshire, our Department of Education and our Commissioner of Education and our governor tell us that Common Core is optional. And so therefore, it is not a downshift from the state, and it is not an unfunded state or federal mandate.
Okay, but that's not what your state statute says. It says that every school system is a creature of the state, and they're recognized and authorized by the state. And every school system in New Hampshire has to have the state curriculum and take a test that is aligned with the state curriculum. So it is a mandatory thing. And your statutes also say that if there is an unfunded mandate, you don't have to do it because the state is supposed to give you the money. So you have a very good point, and their voluntary thing is so much verbiage they can't read their own statutes, or they choose not to for reasons of not wanting to supply the money. They want you to come up with the money.
Sir, I agree with you, and I just wanted to let you know that within the House Republican Alliance, I know of at least 2, possibly 3 House bills from this coming session that will be addressing this topic.
Croc TV.